Hello and thanks for joining us. This is Greg Amos, CTO with Epic Media Partners, and today we'll be walking through the interface for the teacher application of the Epic LMS and Epic Teaching Platform. So step one, of course, is to log into any web browser and go to epiccms.net. You'll be taken straight to the login page, and all you'll need to do is plug in your email address and password. That will be assigned to you and created for you by either your school admin or will be given to you by your Epic sales team member. So we will log into the teacher app, and the first thing that you'll be taken to is the dashboard. And the dashboard lists the courses that have been assigned to you or that you've been assigned to. And each one of the courses, the interface is exactly the same. So for our purposes here, we'll walk through the Ron Blue Financial Stewardship course. Once you click on the course that you want to view, you'll be taken to your student roster. From the student roster page, you will see a list of all your students. And right now, for our purposes today, I only have the one student account. If I'd like to, or if if a student is no longer with us or is out of the class or what have you, they decide to drop the class or move to a different teacher, what have you, I can block that student from accessing the course material. For right now, I'm not going to do that. But I can also, from this place, assign my students to groups. So if there are group projects or group tasks that have been assigned in the material, you can assign your students to those groups from here. Okay, and the advantage to that for you is the ability for tasks to be submitted or course submissions and student submissions that are associated with group tasks to populate under their group and under that team that you create for them. That way you can just sort out the data that way. That's actually a natural segue into the next step, or the next portion, which is group management. So from your class management page, you have access to the student page, which is what you see here, and you also have access to the groups menu. And this is where you can create your teams or your student groups for those group projects or group assigned tasks. Okay, simply click Add Group and type in the name of the group. Go back to the student interface and you can assign the group from there. Okay. The next tab is the Course Management tab. And here you have access to the tasks and the submissions from the students themselves. You also have access to the course submissions and course material, and we'll start there. And the course submissions, essentially, this is a listing of all the materials, supporting documents, videos, teacher guides, etc., that you have access to for each one of the lessons that you'll be teaching. So if you want visibility into the tasks that are going to be assigned your students, all of them are actually listed in the teacher guide. Okay, so just click that and it'll download a PDF copy of the teacher guide for you. I've already downloaded quite a few of them. Just open those and it'll actually walk you through step by step of each lesson for the material itself. Okay. In addition to that, you will have access to all of the links that your students have access to. So if you have introduction videos, other PDFs, supporting documents, things like that, that your students will need, including access to the student guides, you can download all of those, view all those ahead of time. That way you can just have an understanding of the material that your students are going to walk through. Under the tasks menu, you'll have access to the student submissions for every task that is in each lesson. Okay, so your students are going to be submitting videos, pictures, text to you, things like that, memes, music videos in some cases, depending on what course you're teaching. And you'll be able to view all those submissions here. When you click that little edit button right there, the tasks right here, course management tasks, and then click this button here will actually take you to the submissions from your students. So you'll be able to review the feedback. You'll be able to get an idea of what your students are saying in response to some of the tasks, or in response to some of the questions that they're being asked. In addition to that, you will have the opportunity to publish the student submissions to the public school feed, right? So your students have the opportunity, or you will have the opportunity to share and submit the answers and responses that your students are giving to the wider audience of your school. The idea behind that is to give them kind of an outlet or to give you the ability to show off some of your students' work and show off some of your students' responses in a safe social platform for them to then interact with on their student applications. In addition to the course management category, you have the ability to edit the course. You can actually assign tasks of your own or add resources to the class if you so choose. So if there's a video or an article or something like that that you feel is applicable to the course itself, you can add that here. And you can either add a PDF, a video, or a video ID, which is basically just like a Vimeo or a YouTube video ID that you can add here. But you can add those right in here without any issue. You can also create custom tasks for your student, and you can assign them directly to them. Call this task 1. You can describe it however you'd like to, and this is really where you plug in some of the specific text of what you'd like to do. You can assign the due date, and then you can add guidelines and questions. Okay. And these can be whatever you'd like them to be. And your students will have access to answer and submit content against these guidelines and against these questions. Next is the Daily Compass link. And the Daily Compass link basically tells you whether or not your students are actually reading their daily devotional as part of their course material. So a lot of times, especially in the My Epic Journey course curriculum, there will be an assignment that says read My Daily Compass. And reading My Daily Compass is actually a critical step towards your students' growth, both as a Christian and really as a student, just as an adult, a growing adult in general. The last category is feed management. And feed management is where you see all your students' submissions. And these aren't necessarily just tasks. These can be submissions that are in the student application. And from this interface, you actually have the ability to block that content and choose whether or not that you want that content, again, to be published to the wider audience. The idea behind this is if students decide to get mischievous or they decide to do some things that are a little untoward on the platform, you have the ability to censor that or remove it from public view. So that is an overview of the teacher application. If you have questions or if there's additional information that you require, don't hesitate to reach out to your Epic CLs team member. We are here to support you. We want to make sure that the teacher experience is solid. That way your student experience is solid.